Mark chapter 6, verse 45, and it reads this way. And straightway he constrained his disciples to get into the ship and to go to the other side before unto Bethsaida. And while he sent away the people, and when he had sent them away, he departed into a mountain to pray. And when even was come, the ship was in the midst of the sea, and he alone on the land. And he saw them toiling in rowing, for the wind was contrary unto them. And about the fourth watch of the night, he cometh unto them, walking upon the sea, and would have passed them by. But when they saw him walking upon the sea, they supposed it had been a spirit, and cried out. For they all saw him and were troubled, and immediately he talked with them and said unto them, Be of good cheer, it is I. Be not afraid. I want to talk to you for a couple of moments from this subject. You're not going to die in this storm. Could you just encourage somebody real quick and tell them you're not going to die in this storm? You're not going to die in this storm. Again, I want to say that either Bishop Johnson or Apostle Davis could have stood in this platform and preached y'all under the carpet. I'm just glad to be here, and he's right. It's just nice to be nice. They just came to be nice, and I, again, applaud and appreciate your presence today. But I want to talk to you again from this subject. You're not going to die in this storm. There should, in the life of every believer, be a progressive revelation of God. By that, I mean that there should be progress in what we know about God based on what he reveals to us about himself. I'll say that again. There should be progress in what we know about God based on what he reveals to us about himself. The word revelation means literally to uncover that which has been covered up. It means to unveil that which has been veiled. It means to disclose something that has been concealed. And here's the thing, and I'm going to go deep here for a second. I know y'all think I'm pretty shallow, but every now and then the Lord will drop something profound in my spirit. But here's what I've discovered about God, and that is that God has always been all that he is. I'll say that again so y'all can get it, because it is a little deep. God has always been all that he is. Say that with me. God has always been all that he is. And what that means is that God he's not born. He was never born. And so he never had to mature and grow into being God. He's not a created being. He's Elohim, the creator. And so he never had to be cultivated or developed any further into being God. He never went to God school. He never got a God license to be God. He's just God, and he's always been God. And I don't know about you, but that's good to know. God has always been all that he is. If you believe that much, could you say amen? So we have no arguments there. God has always been all that he is. Now, here's the other thing. There's no way that we can know all that there is to know about him. There's no way that we can know all that he is. I don't care how long you've been saved, how long you've been in the church. There is no way in the world that you can know all that there is to know about God. Can you say amen to that? There's no way that our minds could comprehend all that there is to comprehend about God. And again, I don't care how long you've been saved. It doesn't matter. You don't even know the people that are closest to you. Has your spouse ever surprised you before? Okay, now you might be sitting next to your spouse. If you are, don't move your neck. Just blink at me like this. We don't know all that there is to know about the people that are closest to us. And truth be told, we don't even know all that there is to know about us. There are times when we surprise ourselves. Have you ever asked the question, what made me do that? What was I thinking? You've asked that before, right? And so if you don't know all that there is to know about the people that are closest to you, and if you don't know all that there is to know about the people or even about your own self, there's absolutely no way that you can know all that there is to know about God. He's massive, y'all. I'm telling you, he's massive. And that's why sometimes I question our worship experiences, is because sometimes we hang around in the same little area. And I think if God is as big as we say that he is, then every experience that we have with him should be some new revelation of who he is. Sometimes we are creatures of habit, and so we like to hang right here and stay in our lane and not go much outside of our box. But listen, God is bigger than any box that we could ever put him in. So there's no way that we can know all that there is to know about God. And here's the truth. Here we are. Bishop Johnson just gave reference to it, but today marks the 10th anniversary of 9/11. And the fact of the matter is that it was the most devastating act of terrorism that we've ever seen in our lifetimes. It took us all by storm. Nobody was expecting it to happen. I don't know about you, but I remember exactly where I was when I got the call, and then when I sat up, turned on my television, and saw the second tower or plane hit the tower. And how many of us remember exactly where we were on 9/11 10 years ago? And here's the truth of the matter. There's not a single person among us that can definitively tell us what it was all about. On that day, there were Christians and non-Christians. There was blacks and whites. There were rich and poor. It really didn't matter. All kind of people were affected and devastated by this tragedy. And I know that there are people that have their assumptions. I know that there are people that like to think that they got a finger on it, on the issue. But here's the reality. There are just some things that we will never understand. There are some things that are left to God to understand. And we'll spend the rest of our lives, if that's how we want to live, trying to figure out why that happened, when in reality, sometimes we just got to say, look, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. I mean, you know, that felt good just now when I was saying it. Y'all should try it. I don't know. And listen, it's not your responsibility to answer the dilemmas that's happening in everybody else's lives. You can't answer why a person is going through some of what they're going through. Sometimes you can just say, I don't know. I don't know about you, but sometimes I talk to people not with the expectation that they're going to give me the answers, because I know that only God can give me the answers that I really need. Sometimes I just need somebody just to be a sounding board that I can just talk to about some of the things that I'm going through, not answer the question. Because I found out that a lot of times when they try to answer, that most times they come up with the wrong conclusion. And there are just some things in this life that are going to happen that we will not be able to ever draw a rational conclusion. We just got to say, I don't know. And I don't know about you, but I've spent some times in my life where I'm just scratching my head, shrugging my shoulders, and I'm saying, look, I don't know what's going on. Truth is, I don't know why one home is saved and the other is foreclosed on. Can we just talk about some real stuff? I don't know why one marriage survives and the other one ends in divorce. I don't know. I don't know why one person, God heals in the 4 stages of cancer, and then the next person dies from a mosquito bite. It boggles me. It baffles me. And all I can say is, I don't know. I don't know why one person gets caught and the other person goes unnoticed. I don't know why one man's sins are exposed. Okay, I'm coming down your lane sooner or later. I don't know why one person's sins are exposed and then God conceals the sins of another. And sometimes we sit around and we talk about the concealed or the exposed sin, when really we ought to be thanking God that he concealed our sin long enough for us to get our stuff together. How many of us have ever been covered? How many of us have ever been spared public humiliation? It ain't that you're so perfect. It's because somehow or another yours was covered and somebody else's was exposed. And I cannot tell you why it happens the way that it does. I just don't know. Because we don't know all that there is to know about God, God has a way of